You're listening to a Countout Podcast. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Independent Waters. I am your host, Mikey Manfredi, and joining me, as always, is none other than Zach Bones Saw Batista. Zach, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a busy past couple of days for me, but, you know, going on vacation, it's part of the course.
Yeah. Where you headed?
Maryland. I have an anime convention I'm going to, because I'm a dirty weed.
Nice. I went to Otakon once, and I want to go again. Money.
Did I go with you during that time?
I didn't go with you, but you also went, and I think we saw each other.
Yes.
I went with my college friends, and then you guys were there too, and then we met each other in the hall, I think.
Yes, I recall this very vaguely. It was the old center, I think, too, not the new one.
It was, yeah. I think it was like the 25th anniversary one, I think.
I think you're wearing like a Hawaiian shirt, too, if I recall correctly.
Probably.
I can remember all this names.
That's like my default mode.
Yeah.
I know listeners can't see our Zoom call, but it's literally what I'm wearing currently, so it would not shock me if that's what I was wearing that day at Otakon.
Yeah, Otakon's fun. I enjoy it every year that we go.
Yeah, it was fun when I went. It was when I was like barely into anime, so I would like to go again now that I have a little more under my belt.
Yes. I have to watch some anime, too, before I go, but we'll see if I end up getting through that.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk... This is not an anime podcast. This is a indie wrestling podcast.
Yes, it is.
And we are here to talk about some independent wrestling. We have some awesome matches this week. Zach, it's been who picked the majority of the matches this week?
I believe you did.
All right, so I will start us off with the matches I picked, which were... Megan Bayne versus Ray Lynn from MCW Pro Wrestling. And did I pick the Jordan Oliver one?
You did. Because you said, I don't know who Drake is, but Jordan Oliver's in it.
Right. And Jordan Oliver versus Hunter Drake from New South Pro Wrestling. Zach, what did you bring to the table this week?
I got Jessie Brooks versus Darius Carter versus O'Shea versus Yahya at Battle Club Pro.
Wow. A clusterfuck of a match. I love Fatal 4-Ways.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
All right, why don't we kick us off with the first match we're going over this week, which is, of course, that Fatal 4-Way.
Mm-hmm. So I like when wrestlers are smart in their matches. And the start of this match, I'm fairly certain Carter just dipped set out the outside. He's like, I'm by. So Brooks and Yahya start off by bum rushing O'Shea, and together they actually double team suplex him, and clothesline him out of the ring. He's out for a little bit.
Just immediately everyone going after O'Shea.
Yeah.
It's like when the Big Show enters the Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you better stop him, otherwise he's just going to take the match over, and then you just lose.
Exactly.
So now that he's out of the ring, Brooks starts by wailing on Yahya, and that puts him back in the corner, where she lambasts his chest with various singing chops.
Yeah.
Before then Irish whipping him. However, he counters it and throws her instead. But when he flies at her with a great-looking splash in the corner, she moves out of the way and hits him with two running forearms.
Some solid forearms here.
Well, with momentum on her side, at this point out, she tries to knock him over with a running strike this time, but it doesn't phase him. And we then get into this cycle where she keeps trying to knock him down. He tries to swing and hit her. He misses. Repeat.
Yep.
Several times over until eventually she drops him with a fantastic-looking overhead belly-to-belly suplex. But after that hard-fought victory, unfortunately, in comes Carter, who grabs her by the hair and just viciously uppercuts her in the face until she's collapsed onto the ropes.
Yeah, the the theme with Carter this match seems to be sneaking in at any opportunity.
Darius Carter is a treasure, but my God, is he an absolute shitlord when it comes to multi-man matches.
Yeah, this whole match, he was just like hanging out on the outside, just like lurking. Like, when can I get in there?
He's a very
get my shit in.
Exactly. He's a very what's the word I'm thinking of? He's a very smart. I'm gonna go with smart for now, but he's very crafty. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes.
He knows what he's good at, and he knows what he's not going to win at. And, yeah, like I said, he came with the opportune moment. He then tries to wrap her up on the ropes. It doesn't work, so he locks her in a half Boston Crab hold. But in the middle of doing this, he sees, like, Yahya trying to roll back into the ring, so he lets go of her leg, walks up, kicks him in the face, puts him back out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
He then Irish whips Brooks and takes her out with a running knee, with a kind of like a kitchen sink to the gut, where she's, instead of flipping over the knee, just collapses onto the ground. Kind of like she just ran into like a corner of a table, basically.
Yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
Mm-hmm. And then he stands over and he just jumps up and sits down on her chest, and it just takes the air out of her.
Yup.
Now that she's basically KO'd for a bit, he goes over and beats up Yahya, who's now in the corner and has gotten back into the ring. But, as he knocks him down, he taunts the crowd because he's an asshole. Heels be heels.
Yeah, heels be doing heel stuff. You know how it is.
What he doesn't expect, though, is that while he is sitting here, while he is posing to this crowd, Yahya got up behind him and just pummeled him in the face with several punches. So much so that he forces him back in the corner, and Darius gets desperate enough that he fears so much what's going to happen that he pokes him in the eye to make him stop.
Boop.
Just a little poke.
Yep, just a little poke is all you need.
Oh, that sounds so bad out of context. So, Darius is back in control of this match, and he takes a moment to like listen to the crowd as they are taunting and booing at him, basically.
Yeah.
He's got his fill of this, though, and he goes back over to Yahya, and Irish whips him into the corner, catches him in a sleeper hold. However, using his strength, Yahya shoves Carter off of him, and then gets him up in an air raid crash position. And then, like a fucking freight train, out of like camera view comes O'Shea, who just takes him and Carter out with a spear.
Yeah, just destroys them both.
Like a fucking linebacker, dude. Awesome. I like this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
At this point now, it's just Edwards and Brooks in the ring, as I said previously, Yahya and Carter are knocked down. These dudes waste no time going at it. Brooks repeatedly hits Edwards with... Brooks repeatedly hits Edwards with chops and forearms to the chest, but Edwards just keeps enduring it and asking her to hit him more.
Yeah.
Until he...
Like, bring it. Come on. What are you doing? That's all you got?
Like, and I'm just sitting there going like, that takes some balls, but okay.
Yeah.
And then, eventually, he retaliates, and he just clocks her with a single punch and nearly knocks her out. That's all it takes. Just one punch.
Yeah, sometimes it's all you need, man. Especially when you're as big as O'Shea Edwards, I guess.
Yeah. So, it nearly knocks her out, so he Irish whips her, and on the rebound, she nearly bowls him over with a running clothesline.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a result, these two kind of start jockeying for control as she takes him down by stomping on his foot and then spiking him headfirst into the mat. While this is going on, mind you, you can just hear Carter and Yahya are fighting on the outside. There's like some really loud chops and the crowd going like, ooh, and you can't see any of it.
Which sucks.
But, I guess it's like the theater of the mind. We can only imagine what was happening out there. The crowd, though, they know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she picks him up after she spikes Edwards. Edwards then gets a second win by hoisting her up onto his shoulders and hitting her with an Oklahoma Stampede, which is basically where he gets her in a power slam position, slams her from buckle to buckle until he then slams her into the mat. However, as Mikey said, ever the opportunist here, after Edwards Irish whips her into the corner and sets up for a big slash, in the middle of running here, Carter pounces him off his feet. And then he sees Brooks in the corner, takes a moment, runs up, boots her right in the face. Sorry, I just saw Tom's message. Confident in his victory here at this point, Carter tries to pin her multiple times. Like, I think it's 3 times, maybe?
Yeah, and she just kicks out every single time. And every time she kicks out, she's just like, She, like, just gives him the death stare, right?
And it's faster and faster. She's kicking out. Like, gets 2, close to, like, a 3 first time. Then it's a 2. Then it's a 1. And she gets, like, more and more upset. He then puts her down by just stomping on her gut. Because I guess she was expecting for another pin. And instead he's like, nah, I'll just take the air out of you. So, he sees at this point now that Yahya and her have both gone to the corner and are trying to recover. So he tries to run at Yahya. Yahya launches him out of the ring. Like, just full-on gorilla presses him, or not gorilla, military presses him out of the ring, and he just absolutely eats it on the apron face first. At this point, everyone is down. And the first to get to their feet is Yahya.
Yeah, it's just a mess. Like, it looks like a car crash happened, right?
So, he sees Brooks in the ring still, and he picks up where they left off at the start of this match. By that I mean he stomps on her face for good measure, then, like, beats her down some more, gets some payback pretty much. And then Edwards gets back to the ring, and he sends him... and then he sends Edwards back to the outside, to Carter, who has just gotten up on, like, he's literally gotten to his feet, and out of the ring comes Edwards into him, so he holds on to him to assumedly beat him up. And then channeling his inner Limitless One, Yahya runs the ropes and hits a picture-perfect swanton over the top rope onto Edwards and Carter, and lands it on his feet. Very nice. Always nice to see a big man when he lands on his feet. That must feel so fucking good to hit.
It was nuts. It was how high he got was absolutely bonkers. I was like, all right, he's a big guy. He's probably gonna go over. He's gonna go over the top rope, and it's just gonna be cool. But then he was just like, all right. Yeah. I'm gonna pull out the best motherfucking senton I've ever done in my entire life. This guy gets, like, he could have jumped over 2 rings with how high he got, and he just, like, sailed through the air like he's been a high fly luchador his whole life.
Oh, it was awesome.
After watching him like slam people and just beat people, like, using his power the whole match, and then just being like, and also, by the way, I can jump like 30 feet in the air. Where did that come from?
I don't even know.
It was wild.
It was literally like a trump card he just had in his back pocket. It was like, okay, shit.
Right?
Rolling off.
As soon as I saw that, the rest of this match, I was like, fuck, I'm rooting for him now.
I wouldn't blame you. He rolls off this momentum too, like he rolled off their shoulders. Hey, segues, you love them. He throws Carter back into the ring because he's not an idiot, and he realizes that Edwards is probably not going to go down after that entirely. And he gets him in an air raid crash position, spins him, and slams Carter face versus the mat with a flatline. He calls this the Kryptonite Crunch. It's called an air raid crash by other people, but Kryptonite Crunch sounds way cooler. And when he was setting up for this, Mikey, I was like, what is he doing? I'm like, why does he have his head, like, outside of his arm? I was like, oh, he rolled it off his... I was like, oh, that's clever.
Yeah.
It's a cool-looking move. I like it. So, unfortunately for him, though, he goes to pin Carter. Brooks breaks up the pin. And then knocks him down with a roundhouse kick to the side of the face when Yahya gets up on his knees to contest this with her. She then wanders over Carter and goes to German suplex him. Despite him for hanging onto the ropes for dear life, he can't stop her, and he gets planted by a bridging German suplex. That's broken up by Edwards, who then boots her in the face after this. Before then turning around to see that Yahya's gotten to his feet. So finally, we get the Haas fight that this match basically had, like, written on it from plain view. Sorry, catch my breath.
No, you're fine.
So, quickly, Edwards knocks him down with a forearm to the face. My Haas fight was denied instantly. And then he looks over at Brooks and signals that he's going to finish her and win this match. So he gets her up under his shoulder to hit the Kaiju Driver, I believe is what his finisher is called. But Yahya pulls her down off his shoulder. And very much like the start of this match, the two of them take him out, with Yahya hitting him with an enziguri and then Brooks dropping him with an absolutely wild-looking German suplex. Wasn't expecting that. She's hit 2 suplexes now. I realized that I thought to myself, she's not going to hit that. Come on. So props to her. And then as he's up on his knees trying to stop this from happening, Yahya just decks him in the jaw with a running knee, and he's out of the ring. He's gone.
Yeah.
So
just beat the absolute crap out of him.
Then we get this very odd spot to me, Mikey. I wanted you to tell the people how you felt about this as I described this.
Okay.
So Yahya and her are staring off like they're going to hit each other, and Yahya just pauses and just screams in Brooks's face. And she's kind of like that goofy gif where, like, his face, like, he, like, looks stunned, like that picture, you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
It's right after he gets kissed by the milkman that looks like him, and he's just got, like, the
stunned
face. That's literally her
yeah.
from my head, because she doesn't do anything, and I'm like, what do you do? And it made me thinking that she gets integrated in the face.
Yeah.
And I was like, what just happened?
What?
Why did you let him scream in your face? Why did you think, like, shit?
I don't know, man. Listen, sometimes you gotta try to get in their head, I guess.
You know what this reminds me of? It's like in the video of the guy who, like, some dude tries to pick a fight with him, so the guy pulls off all his clothes, and the guy, like, looks shocked and then runs away, and everyone's like, you gotta out-crazy the opponent in the fight. Maybe that was
hey, there you go. You gotta, like you said, you gotta out-crazy him sometimes.
So, after stunning her with this enziguri in the face, he rebounds off the ropes by running off. No, he rebounds off the ropes, plants her with a spine buster. My bad. I just realized what this is now. So, kicks her in the face. She falls backwards.
The spine buster was gorgeous,
yes,
by the way.
Off the rebound, she hits a gorgeous-looking spine buster. And Jesse's going for the win from fucking another dimension. In comes Darius Carter, who boots him in the face, throws him out of the ring, pins Brooks, wins.
Yeah. That was such a clean steal. Like, that, like, it was just, like, so, just, like, run in, throw him off, get the pin real quick. It was so quick and so, like, got him, right?
Yeah, literally. I was like, I mean, they did it right. He got thrown out the outside, got taken out by his face eating the apron, and I was like, I just completely forgotten about him, and then he just came flying in, like, mine, thank you. Oh my god, it was great. I will say, I thought this was a pretty solid match, though there was one glaring issue I had with this match, Mikey. The pacing of this match felt off. Like, I felt like there were points in this match where people didn't know what they were supposed to do next.
Yeah, I mean, that tends to happen in Fatal 4-Ways sometimes.
But it was just, like, glaringly obvious. Like you could tell, like, they were trying to, like, patch up the holes, but, like, watching as much wrestling I have, like, I could see points where people were like, what do I do next?
Yeah.
They're laying
like,
on the ground.
Who am I waiting for?
Yeah, like, so they just start beating the other person up, and I'm like, So, for that reason, despite the notable spots in this match that I thought looked quite good, and I thought that everyone involved did a good job, I'm gonna give this match a meh.
Yeah, I think I'm in the... I don't know, I'll stick to the high meh. I'm gonna give it a high meh because I think based purely on the surprise factor of Yahya just soaring like an eagle.
Yeah.
And literally making me go, what the fuck, in the middle of the match? Yeah, I'll keep it at a high meh.
Fair enough. What the fuck?
That's like, without, I didn't even, like, think about it. It just blurted it out when I saw that, because it was just so bonkers at how gorgeous that senton was.
I just imagine if you were drinking, you'd probably done a spit take, if I were to guess.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Thank God I didn't have water in my mouth. My monitor would be ruined. Anyway, let's move on to our next match of the episode. Yeah. We got Megan Bayne taking on Ray Lynn from MCW Pro Wrestling. I think this is Maryland Championship Wrestling.
I believe so. It's been a minute.
We're gonna come back to Melbourne City Wrestling in a bit because they just had a big return, which I am very excited to look into. With Buddy Matthews coming back to MCW for the first time in like a decade.
Hey man, Buddy Matthews is money.
Yeah,
quote me on it. Even though I've said it since 205 Live, and I saw his first match, and I was like, this man is amazing. Why is he not on TV more?
Yeah, I can't. I want to look into that pay per view where he returned and see what it was all about.
I'll be down. Anyhow,
anywho,
this match is for the.
We're talking about Maryland Championship.
This match is for that promotion's women's championship. Ray Lynn being the current defending champion. It has been
Megan Bayne being the big scary challenger.
It's been a minute since we've seen a Megan Bayne match.
Yeah, and she is just as terrifying as I remember her being.
Yeah, Megan literally asserts her dominance by, I want to say T-posing on Ray Lynn in the corner, but more so she just shoves her back into the corner, and I was like, okay, I see how this is going to go now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Ray Lynn basically plays the scrappy underdog here, because she, like, tries to, like, wrestle Megan to the ground. And Megan just grabs her by the waist and just throws her back to the ground. Megan's
like, haha.
It's like an older sibling who's like, younger siblings trying to mess them. They're like, okay, you need to be learned, like, playtime's over. Listen, know your place.
Or like the nerd going at the bully, and the bully's just like holding their hand on their forehead, and they're just like swinging, like, come on, bring it.
Yeah, bring it, come on. It's just like...
and they're just missing, and the bully's like, oh, sure, yeah, man.
Though unlike all those people we said here, Ray actually doesn't take this lying down. In retaliation, she chops down Megan a bit with a rapid series of kicks before rolling off her back, like as she's bent over, and drop kicking her in the face after she runs the ropes a bit here. This causes Megan to go into the corner, but when Ray goes to monkey flip her, Megan catches her and places her on the top rope. Though, credit to Ray, as I said, she's a scrappy champion and a fighter, so she's actually able to stay in control by kicking her away and then throwing her off 5 feet with a Hurricane Rana off the top ropes. Off this move, Ray tries to then keep Megan off balance with another dropkick to the face, but when that doesn't work, she goes for an Irish whip that Megan counters, and on the rebound, Megan catches and slams her down with a power slam. Megan is in firm control of the match for a while here after this.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a lot of Megan Bayne just
slam, strike,
just wrecking Raylan. Yeah.
Ray tries to come back, put down again, clubbing fists over the back. Each time, like she just keeps like her kneeing her in the chest, also taunting the crowd. I'm pretty sure during this. I think the most notable point in this part of the match I thought of was when Megan hit Ray with the stalling suplex, and then tried to follow up. I believe with I think it was a senton or so like a drop, but Ray moved out of the way. For a moment here, it looks like Ray is actually going to finally stop Megan's assault. But sadly for her, Megan catches her when she goes for a running crossbody, fucking slams her back first onto her knee like she's Bayne, and then just tosses her away with a follow-away slam like she's not even worth her time.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
So
just like enough. Yeah, you got like just get out of here. Right?
It's like the equivalent if evil Wonder Woman came down from Mount Olympus and Hercules tried to stop her, and she was like, "You can sit the fuck down now. Stop it." So after this, right? Megan decides she's going to break Raylan's by getting her in a bear hug, and she hangs on to this for quite a while. But in the end, Ray actually is able to hit her enough that she's forced to break the hold. Now, out of said hold, Ray retreats to the corner, so Megan charges at her, but unfortunately for her, she is hit with a series of unfortunate events, as I've written down here. So Ray first dodges her, so she goes shoulder first into the corner. She then tries to running splash her on the floor. Ray dodges it again, so she flops onto the mat. And then as a result, Ray ducks a strike from her and then topples her with a roundhouse kick to the chest and then 2 sweeping kicks to her ankles.
This is the first real offense that Raylan has gotten in all match, basically.
Yeah. And when Bayne gets up from this, she puts her back down with by hitting her with running double knees to the chest. So, at this point now, Megan's in the corner. She is completely, like Mikey said, this is the first time Ray's on the offense, and Megan is completely on her back foot. So she charges at Megan, and while Megan does chuck her onto the apron, Ray clocks her in the face of the forearm before then wiping her out with a drop kick off the top rope.
Yep.
So Megan, in an attempt to assert her dominance again using her strength, hoists Ray onto her shoulders, but that gets countered when Ray spikes with a DDT. When they both go back to their feet, Megan shoves Ray into the corner, knees her, and then chucks her into the opposite corner. And even though Ray does make some space here by booting Megan in the face, Megan catches her when she goes for a crossbody again. Ray has gone for this crossbody, I think, 2 separate times, or maybe 3, and it has been caught every time.
Yeah, it just never works.
Someone actually, I'll tell you about that later, about a post someone made about that. Anywho, from here, Megan nails her with her signature boss man slam. And you think at this point that Ray's losing, but she actually kicks out.
Which looked great, by the way.
Megan has a very nice looking boss man slam.
Yes.
So, after this, she kicks out. Megan is infuriated. So much so that she just grabs Ray by her head and just keeps slamming her face first into the mat before picking her up to boss man slam her again. And then, out of nowhere, Ray counters the slam mid-spin by rolling her up with a crucifix for the win.
Buffalo Wild Wings has specials on food from 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, and great deals on drinks all day. It's the perfect way to offset a long day. Text that hilarious joke about your boss to your boss.
What? No.
Try a $3 Wild Herd by Goose Island. Set your morning alarm for 6 p.m. That calls for $5 strawberry margaritas. So if you ask your phone why you're still single and...
Ha ha ha. Seriously?
Head to Buffalo Wild Wings. At participating locations, taxes and fees apply. Dine in only. Drink responsibly. Offers vary by location. Void where prohibited.
In the heat of the moment, you're not just keeping it calm, you're keeping it cool, too. With an ice-cold cold brew. And not just any cold brew, but one that's slow steeped and mixed with brown sugar and molasses flavor. With a cold foam infused with brown sugar coolness and a cinnamon sugar sprinkle on top. That's keeping it calm, cool, and cold brewed. With Dunkin's new brown sugar cream cold brew, America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
Yeah.
Megan's not happy at all.
No. Nope.
But
Raylan did defend her championship.
Raylan did defend her title, but she then got an ass beating from Megan Bayne, who beat her and spiked her with a pile driver.
Yep.
Got a chair. The ref, Becky, who seems like a lovely individual that the crowd and the announcers like a lot.
Becky doing her absolute best, really.
So I'm like, oh, it's one of the rest of the personality. And as I'm thinking this, and she takes the chair out of Megan's hand, she turns around and Megan just boots her in the face. And then manhandles the security that tries to come in to stop her with the chair before promptly just leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, man. Mikey,
it was just ridiculous, this match.
The aftermath aside, what do you think of this match?
This was solid. It was solid. It felt like a solid. I thought it was gonna be a squash match at first, but then Raylan got a burst of offense and ended up winning. I really felt like they were setting up for Bayne to just take the title definitively, and then Lynn fucking fought back like the underdog she is, and well, I guess she's not the underdog because she's the champion, but
yeah,
she still felt like the underdog in this one compared to Megan Bayne.
I mean, yeah, Megan's massive.
Yeah, it was awesome. This match was great. I liked it a lot.
I'm in a similar boat of where I was like, this match was good. There wasn't a lot in this match that like stood out to me a ton. Unlike the Fatal 4-Way match, I thought the match's story was fine, classic.
It felt a little generic. That was about it.
That's
but
basically
otherwise, it was decent.
Honestly, you picked it where I was putting. I was like, it was a bit generic outside of the fucking ending aftermath where she beat the fuck out of everybody, and I was just like, what just happened? But on that, I thought the match was fine. It's a meh. It's like for me, it's very much the meh today. Whereas the Fatal 4-Way match, it's more about the issue of the timing or the pacing of it, I guess the way of putting it. This is more so like just fine, nothing wrong with it. Anywho,
yeah.
Now let's go to the match that you picked actually.
Yes, we got none other than Jordan Oliver taking on Hunter Drake from New South Pro Wrestling.
I never heard about Hunter Drake before this match.
Me neither, and I have heard about him now.
Yes, exactly.
In a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Very Hunter Drake was really impressive. Yeah, Hunter Drake was impressive this match, and so was Jordan Oliver. Why don't we get into it?
Yes. So, the context for y'all at home. This night match takes place on night 2 of the 5th annual Heart of the Southern 16, or Haas, tournament. Mm-hmm. And both these guys lost their opening round match. Which is why Jordan dubbed this match on Twitter, apparently, the match of the losers.
The battle of the losers,
that was it. And I was like, I looked at these two, their builds, and I thought about the name Haas tournament. I'm like, if they're all Haas's, yeah, I can see why they lost.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. Yeah. So, this is a more so battle of two people that have very similar styles to each other. Which I was very appreciative of because it meant a lot of flippy shit and a lot of really crazy looking spots.
Mm-hmm.
However, the match doesn't actually start off like that. Starting off this, Oliver basically just out-wrestles Hunter and ties him up several times until he basically pulls his arms behind his back and just jams his boot and then his head in between his shoulder blades in like a modified surfboard hold. And for a decent amount of time, Hunter tries his damnedest to get out of this and counter it by reversing it on him, but Oliver is just too quick to reverse it each time. And like there's a point where Drake actually turns around and reverses the hold and crosses Oliver's arms so that he can like lean back and throw Oliver off of him. And that's the only way he can get out of this. He can't even like keep the hold in when he reverses it.
Yeah.
So they then go back and forth running the ropes, trying to outdo each other with their flippy shit. And then they go back and forth trading pinfalls. Very lucha style opener of this match.
A very lucha style match. A very back and forth, very athletic match. Jordan Oliver showing off the fact that he is a little bit more experienced than Hunter Drake in the beginning of this one.
Yes. Though, to Hunter's credit, there isn't as much of a winner by the end of this because Oliver shoves Hunter into the corner and the ref's like, all right, get it, break off from each other. Come on, stop.
Yeah.
And then, leaving the format we just saw, these two decide to get into a chop-off. And all the chops sound pretty good. I like them. At this point, I feel like we should have like a chop meter, like a tier list, Mikey, of who has the best chops in wrestling.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
That would be
man.
very difficult. They would get towards the top of that
That's
list. I'd be hard pressed.
It's like Walter, right?
You need got to be like impact, consistency, and like sound or something like that. Walter,
yeah, definitely sound is up there. I think sound. How like if it leaves a mark on the chest afterwards.
If we ever do a Patreon exclusive, we have to do that for an episode.
Yeah,
we just
right.
have to discuss chops.
Can we just do just a whole chop episode?
Yes.
We'll call it Chopped. Wait.
Wait. Shit. Great show, by the way.
Good, awesome show.
So, anywho, back to the actual chops. They get into a chop off. They all sound pretty good. Jordan wins this. He's got a size advantage on Hunter. He's bigger. He's slightly bigger than him, and he's slightly stronger than him. And because of this, Hunter's actually able to stop this eventually, though. Sorry, I got lost in the sauce for a second there. Hunter does put a stop to this by this beating, pretty much, by countering an Irish whip and hopping onto the ring apron. He then rolls into the ring, hits Jordan with several hard-hitting strikes, which causes him to fall to the outside instead. And then Hunter takes him out with a senton over the top rope. On the outside, though, these two batter the shit out of each other until we get on to where they came in the entrance ramp. The entrance ramp for this show is basically just like a stage play with like a bunch of like stairs that you see on the side, like those big, bulky, like blocky, like black stairs, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Hunter like gets Jordan on the stairs, and he looks like he's gonna run and do something to Jordan. And I was very excited for this, but Jordan ruined my fun because he runs towards Jordan.
Jordan ruined it,
and Jordan gets up, and what would normally be a spear ends up being more so like a dead stop because Hunter just runs into Jordan's shoulder, and he just looks like he just ran into a pipe that he didn't realize was been like at his waist level, and he just falls over like completely fucked. I was like, oh, okay,
just get him.
And I love how Jordan, showing his experience, like you said before, Mikey, is like thinks about it, he's like, oh yeah, runs to the ring, yells at the ref, count him. He'll take a count out. Fuck it. Oh, I forgot too. Before he did this,
yeah, man, he'll take he'll definitely take a count out. Like, why wouldn't you?
And I forgot the reason why he was so confident this count out is that he fucking planted him with a brainbuster onto this hard wooded floor stage, and then ran into the ring. And it's so devastating that Hunter barely gets back to this ring. I'm talking like 9 count here, like on the way to 10.
Yeah, 9 and like when they say like 9 3/4, right? Like the ref was like. 10. Like,
get back in the ring,
it was so close.
Unfortunately, though, for Hunter, he promptly then gets his ass beat in the ring because Jordan's waiting for him and he's rested up, obviously. Mm-hmm. He does make a comeback here with some strikes and running the ropes and then starts running the ropes. But when he goes for Hurricane Rana, Jordan blocks it and uses his positioning to spike him with a pile driver. After Hunter kicks out of this, Jordan basically does his best to grind him down. Many holds, decides to stand him up in the corner, chops him. Then Hunter just goes off. Jordan gets hit with several rapid-fire chops. Then he gets forearmed in the face before he then gets tossed into the corner. He gets rocked in the jaw with a running forearm. He tries to stop this momentum, though, by throwing Hunter into a corner, but he's unsuccessful because Hunter uses the corner to jump over him and then hit him with a backstabber followed by a German suplex.
Mm-hmm.
Valiantly, Hunter kind of tries to lift Jordan up here for either. I think it's a power bomb or maybe a pile driver. Wow, I almost said power driver and pile buster. I thought pile bomb.
Pile buster. Now I want to finish your name, the Pile Buster. That's so good.
That's such a wicked sounding name, dude. See with the
how do you wait?
Buster.
How do you combine a brain buster and a pile driver?
I don't know.
Because now I want it. Now I want a pile buster.
A pile buster. Oh my god. You could even honestly... I want to see that, or you could just take a brain buster and be like, it's the pile buster. Why? Because
the pile buster.
You want to know why it's called the pile buster, Mikey? Because you leave him in a pile after the match.
I thought you were gonna say it's because you leave him in a pile, Buster. Like you're from the 1920s. I was like, what?
Oh, man, the dad would be proud of you for that pun, dude. Hell. That wordplay, fucking hell.
I thought that's what you were gonna say.
Oh my god. That's Mikey Corpses over here.
Yeah, sorry.
Again, thanks to Jordan's side strength, he's able to actually flip Hunter off his back and then back elbow him in the face. And with Hunter now stunned, Jordan goes for the clout cutter off the turnbuckle. And in mid-fucking air, Hunter, who, if he hadn't watched the Will Ospreay match when I saw something like this, God bless his soul for thinking of this, because it's fucking awesome. Mid-Jordan going for the cutter, he realizes that Hunter isn't behind him anymore. He's below him. And he catches him and plants him with a powerbomb.
Yeah.
The spot was...
That was such... It was so smooth. It was so clean, so smooth,
Best
and just a absolutely gorgeous powerbomb reversal.
Hunter or Jordan, whichever one of you came up with this, whether it was... Even if it was inspired by Ospreay, the spot still fucked. That was...
It was awesome.
Best looking spot of the night, or the match, probably.
Hard agree.
After the best looking spot of the night, though, Jordan kicks out. We went through all of that, and Jordan still kicked out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So he beats Hunter beats Jordan from corner to corner until he Irish whips him to one corner and gets reversed by Jordan with one of his own. He then runs at Hunter, who instead of staying there, throws Jordan onto the apron and then counters him when he jumps back into the ring to hit him.
Yep.
I didn't remember what he wrote. How did he do? Oh, Hunter then. Oh, okay. So after he counters, what did he counter him with? I don't have it written down here. I don't know what he countered him with. I guess he punches him. I don't know. Weird.
From what spot?
After he throws Jordan onto the apron, I just arrive here. He counters him when he jumps back into the ring to hit him. And I don't know what he countered him with.
Oh, I think he did like one of those like leaping, like grab the ropes, like head kicks, right?
Oh, okay.
To knock him back and then get him into.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. So unfortunately, though, after he countered Jordan's strike with one of his own, I'm not gonna say it. Fortunately, after he countered Jordan trying to hit him, he goes to hit him with if I recall correctly, it was a shoulder charge. He tried to
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. I remember this now.
Okay.
So quickly after this, he then slips through the ropes and onto the apron, and Jordan tries to charge him, but it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And then he double stomps Jordan's back as he's like bent over the middle ropes. And immediately after this, Jordan goes for, I think, a Tiger Driver. It looked like it. But instead, Hunter Hurricane Rana's him and then spikes him head first into the mat with a spike poison Rana after he ducks a big boot from Jordan. And just as you think he's about to finish Jordan off, Jordan slaughters him with a lariat, and they're both wiped out afterwards.
Yeah.
They barely get to their feet in an 8 count, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it was close. These two were gassed.
Mm-hmm. But
not actually, but
reasonably enough, Jordan is the one that's better less worse for it because he didn't just get ripped across his chest with a lariat.
This is fair.
He unloads roundhouse kicks into Hunter's chest, knocks him into the back corner, hoists him onto the top rope, sends him crashing back down to the ground with a swinging neck breaker off the middle rope. And Hunter is a resilient motherfucker because he kicks out of this.
Oh yeah.
So Jordan's like, I'm going.
Hunter not giving up quite yet.
Jordan's like, fuck it, we're going for the clout cutter.
Might as well.
Gets Hunter in position.
Go for the finishing move, right?
Mm-hmm. Gets him in position, like he's barely on his feet. Hops, like in the middle he's about to hop off the ropes, and Hunter collapses. And does not seem like he can get up. Jordan is not buying this, though. The refs, tell him to, back off, and Jordan's like, I'm ending this match. I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, surprise, Hunter's playing possum, and he nearly rolls him up.
Yeah, that was a surprising little heel turn a little bit. Not like really because nobody booed him, but it was a sneaky tactic for the face to take. I will say that.
It does a good job of showing just how tough of an opponent Jordan is for Hunter.
Yeah,
that he had to think. Maybe
he had to dig. He had to do the trickery, right?
Mm-hmm. The jig is up though, and Hunter hits Jordan with a Hurricane Rana after Jordan nearly counters that with a Tombstone Pile Driver.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Hunter runs at Jordan, and this time he goes for what I think was going to be a Canadian Destroyer, but Jordan throws him off of him and nearly knocks him out with a roundhouse kick to the face before following that up with an absolutely devastating release German suplex that would have made Brock Lesnar proud. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah,
people audibly gasped when he flew through the air here, and I was like, yeah, I did too. And Jordan at this point is absolutely done with him, and he goes for what I assume is going to be a brain buster, like the one he used on the stage to take Hunter out. But in the middle of doing this, Hunter is actually somehow able to counter it with a Hurricane Rana that he converts into a roll up that picks him up the win.
Yeah, he was. It looked like he was going for the clout. It looks like Jordan was trying to go for the clout cutter, but then Drake like spun and turned around into the Hurricane Rana pin.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, to pick up the victory.
It was a hard-fought victory for Hunter, and Jordan gave him the respect.
Sure was
the respect that he felt he had earned, and I'm inclined to agree after that match.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really well-done spots in this match. There wasn't a lot of mess-ups in this match. The crowd was fully behind Hunter, which I appreciated because it's nice when the crowd's in the match. Overall, I'm going to give this match a high meh. I had a good time with it. And the clout cutter himself never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah.
What about you, Mikey? What do you feel?
I thought it was awesome. This match was great. These two just went right back and forth. There was some crazy lucha sequences between these two high flyers. Two amazing high flyers just doing their best high flying stuff in this match, and also some technical wrestling with some good submission holds from Jordan Oliver and some a little bit of sneaky wrestling from Hunter Drake, but some cool reversals here and there. This match was awesome. I'm giving it the mark out, Zach.
Ooh, let's go.
This match fucked.
Fair enough. Oh,
what do you think?
I said it already.
Okay.
I give it a high meh.
Right. I'm going with the mark out here.
Very, very nice. Huh. So, with that out of the way, Mikey, let the people know what we're doing next week. Cause it's a bit of a... Well, actually, yeah, it is next week.
Yes.
Is it next week? I have the con, though. That's the thing. I might be back on Monday.
We'll figure it out.
The next episode, because I have the convention.
The next episode of Indy Waters, which may be next week or the week after.
Apologies.
Depending on what happens this weekend, because me and Zach are both really busy this weekend. So we might not be able to record.
But it is a special episode that we think will be worth it, because we are going to watch an independent wrestling pay-per-view. Those of you that have been listening for a while.
I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah, me too. Those of you that have been with us for a while know that we do a coverage of the collective every year that it happens. And occasionally some of the free wrestling shows that we can find, like the marathon that GCW did. But Mikey decided to bring up the idea of, why don't we do some more shows? And I think it's a fantastic idea. So we're going to start off our first show with, I hope to be a bang, because the card looks absolutely nuts, from a New Jersey-based independent wrestling organization.
Yeah.
Newly formed Garden State Pro Wrestling, and their Welcome to Eden show, which is headlined by the match that sold me on it the moment I saw it. Konosuke Takeshita versus fucking Josh Alexander.
What a match.
If that match don't fuck, hell is frozen over. Or I guess the better way of putting it is New Jersey is no longer rainy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This card is stacked, and
This card is stacked. I'm really excited to take a look at it. Like I said, whenever the next episode may be, it's going to be us talking about this.
Mm-hmm. And, we should probably mention, the format of it will be similar to how the collective show is, which basically Mike and I won't go into
we're just going to
look into it. Just general thoughts, general feelings of the match, spots that stood out to us,
we'll go over each match. We'll go over each match
because there's 8 or 9 matches I think on this card, and if we talked about that, we'd be here for 2 hours. And who wants to listen to a 2-hour podcast unless it's a D&D one?
Wait, roll it back a little bit. The D&D one and Okada shorts.
Fair enough. It's bite-sized pieces, and it's easier to consume matches. It's easy for you to tell whether or not we liked a match or not, or whether or not you want to watch the match, or if you just want to buy the pay-per-view.
We're gonna go over the matches in general, and then we're gonna go over how we felt about the pay-per-view as a whole.
Yep.
This card is stacked. We're excited to see all these matches. It's gonna be bananas, and we can't wait to talk to you about it.
Hell yeah!
All right, well, that is it for this week's episode of Indy Waters. I believe that just leaves with the plug, since we have no previews. So remember, you could go I already fucked up.
I got it.
Thanks.
Yeah, I got it. So remember, if you want to see any news for what we feel about the world of wrestling and wrestling in general, go to our Twitter at CountOutPod, or go to Mikey and I's Independent Waters Twitter at Indy Waters on Twitter. You can follow us there, and you'll get updates from us, or our feelings just on things in general that we see in the wrestling world. If you want to support the network more than just listening, as we appreciate just you being here, you can subscribe to what will now be our Patreon. We can get exclusive episodes. You can get exclusive perks for the network. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's always appreciated, though. If you want to support us not from Patreon, though, you can go to our merch, which is on our website, countoutnetwork.com. We've got hats, shirts. What else do we have for merch, Mikey?
We have a cool new T-shirt. We have a bunch of stickers on countoutpod.com/store. But we are, like I said, we are transferring to TeePublic soon. Like I said a couple weeks ago, we're going to be transferring to TeePublic soon. So get ready for that. We are going to be. It'll let us control the production process a little bit more and get you your shirts faster. Mm-hmm. So we'll be doing that. We're going to have merch from all the podcasts here at the network. We are super excited to launch it. Just stay tuned for that.
Also, just as a thing that's new for me, I would say share the episode if you want. Get your friends involved. Nothing's more fun than talking about your friends with wrestling because that's
why we started this podcast.
Exactly, it's such a fun feeling, and who knows? Maybe even if it's not us that you bond over, you can bond over the matches themselves because there's some really great wrestling out there these days.
Yes.
I don't think. Oh, join the Discord too. I almost forgot.
Yeah, join the
Discord every time because Ryan is wants this thing to be a thing, and I kind of do too. Also now after hanging out there for a bit, or hanging out there more often.
As all the good content creators say, link in description.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't think I missed anything unless I'm getting something.
Nope, that about wraps it up. So that just leaves us as one thing left to say, I guess, and that is to remember that there's a gigantic sea of independent wrestling out there.
So never stop exploring, not missing it this week.
This has been a Count Out Podcast.
Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
It's Amanda Bones.
And I'm Ashley.
Of How to Talk to Your Friend About Wrestling, the podcast on the Count Out Wrestling Podcast Network, a weekly show where we talk about all of our favorite things, babes, blood, and brutality.
We also talk about other fun things, like is Kenny Omega finally too tan? And how much blood is too much blood? Because that looks like way too much blood.
So join us on the adventure of teaching me, Amanda Bones, about wrestling.